About 2 o'clock in the morning. You're making a fucker wake, dude. That's wrong though. Sorry, collaborative Kiwi Studios. You're at 2 o'clock in the morning. And Adhan's are like it's eight. It's like it's well for him is Adhan for it's 9 a.m. For me it's 10 a.m. Sorry, collaborative. Pam, Todd, and Son. Sorry if your kids listening to my
tomfoolery.
Listen, he's my brother by blood, but my God.
We had some technical difficulties. Things have to be done.
Yeah, well. I gotta take another crap, dude. I'm drinking straight black coffee. It's not looking good for me right now.
No one told you to drink straight black. All right.
Listen, it would be worse if I had cream in it. You know how I am with lactose intolerant.
So much information. That we should apologize for. People, we're so sorry for getting
they're
more personal details than you need.
You guys are fine, right? You all deal with that. It's all natural.
Oh, it's actually Rich. Okay. Hey, Rich.
Oh, what? Huh?
The Pam, Todd, and
Oh.
Sons.
Oh. So I guess Rich is Todd, or is the son?
Maybe. Oh, and before I get started, collaborative. How did the interview go? Let us know. I hope it went
He's
well
been
for you.
watching. He's been watching Superman and Lois. You know what? That's actually a really good show. Some things I don't agree with, and I am still confused on certain things. But Superman and Lois overall is a really good show. I just always find it amazing. You know, where the kids will grow from say like adolescent or infants to teenage to almost adulthood, and the parents stay the same age wise. They don't age, no grades added, nothing. I mean, I can understand Superman because he's an alien, but Lois,
She got those good genes.
I guess so. I guess she got some of that kryptonite in her. So, it just kind of rubbed off in her.
Maybe. I mean, yeah.
Have you seen it, Adhan? Have you seen
honest,
Superman and Lois?
There's been some cases of some parents that just hold their youthfulness.
Well, I know, but
look,
I mean,
look at Selma Hayek. She's like in her 50s.
Oh boy, look at her. Yeah. But okay, that's different though, because
she's super rich.
Right. So she has money at her disposal to help her, like that. But I'm talking about the average Joe. I don't think your average reporter who goes through the hectic, traveling and trying to get deadlines done and things like that. And especially Lois, who's been dealing with a lot of stressful events in her life. Stress adds years fast. But anyway.
But we digress. Collaborative, that sucks, man. Oh. I hate. Yeah, no, he's like. They told him he had the experience, but they felt that he was too young to work with the team.
So, Rich, you watched up to episode 5 of what? Of Superman and Lois or Loki? I'm kind of confused.
I know I watched up to episode 5 of Superman and Lois because they were doing it on HBO Max.
Right.
And then I haven't watched it since. Not because I don't like it. I did enjoy the show. I got caught up with other stuff. So
of course.
I plan on just finishing that bad boy out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't watch anymore on HBO Max because they're doing like a little intro.
Okay, so I gotta pull it out.
Yeah.
CW.
Mm-hmm. It's done very well. It's much better considering it came from the Supergirl storyline and how bad I thought that was, because the storyline and the writing is so horrid that saying, this is done very well. Like right now, the only things I watch of CW wise in the sense of superheroes is The Flash and Superman and Lois. I still have not seen Stargirl, and Stargirl I heard is really good. I heard.
I enjoyed Stargirl.
Yeah, I have not seen that yet, and that's on HBO Max. I gotta watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get this going. So, you want to do the intro? You want to do the intro, buddy? It's 10 o'clock. I'm limited. I got teach a class later.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Welcome back to another video, everybody. This is your host Don Tron from NerdTots with Angel from Tales of Two Bros, our other project, and actually,
The
yeah,
film
I'm
combatant.
gonna stay and the film combatant. I'm gonna stay on this side. Usually I'm on the other side. I'm gonna stay on this side. I played around with my settings too much. We're here to watch another episode of Loki, the final episode for hopefully season one, if not season two, coming up shortly. I I do enjoy the show so far. I
Hmm.
will leave my final opinion after the episode to see if I would wish there is a season two still at that point.
There are talks into it. It may happen. It may
Mm-hmm.
happen. Depends on, I guess, what happens in
This episode,
multi, multiverse of madness.
that
Because
too.
phase 4, what have you. All right. So we didn't watch it last week. Well, I did, but separately. Who do we think is in the castle?
Okay. I know there's three theories, so who do you think? Let's start with that, and I'll go over the three theories.
Well, all the points or the arrows, what have you, are pointing to Kang.
True.
Because in the last episode, you saw a lot of tie-ins with him in the Easter eggs on the debris, the buildings, what have you. Uh, you have the cloud mist thing, the Leviathan, whatever that thing was called. I can't remember right now. And you have Homegirl in the TVA. They're all related to Kang. But as we know from the MCU, they've done in shows before, they gave a little switcheroo at the last moment where we think it's one thing and we're gearing to it, and it's not, it's something else. I'm thinking is Old Man Loki. And I can be wrong. And I also have another person I think it is too, but Old Man Loki, because it'll be the ultimate trick from the trickster, setting all the pieces, having control, and he's there behind the castle because he can do like an Obi-Wan thing where he sacrificed himself or gave that illusion. Because remember, we saw that before, or not, we didn't see it before. He talked about it before, that he can project himself, make it seem it's really him, and then he'll be somewhere else. He faked his death before. He said that with Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
He could have done it again and just see how things are being played out. You know, similar to where Doctor Strange saw multiple outcomes for Endgame, but there's only one. Probably Old Man Loki did the same thing. So, okay, for things to come to, I want to come out, this has to play. I had to be this part. I had to act like this. I have to do it in that sense. After watching the episode again last night, I saw how he was reacting to other people as they're saying the lines or what have you. He's watching them. And so I'm just thinking it could be him. So that's one option. And I'm also thinking it could be that clerk from the first episode. For some reason, he popped in my head because we only saw him once and he was in it a lot in that one episode. And we hadn't seen him again. He was not brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Other characters were, but he wasn't brought back. So maybe like he's a guy who like found out certain things by playing low key, playing the simpleton, the village idiot, if you will. But then he could be pulling the strings from the back. I could be wrong because sometimes what you think is right there, is not, and what you ignore is there the whole time. All right.
So, the theories are you're not far off. First theory is people think it's a Loki. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are thinking it's a younger Loki, though, not the old Loki. Second theory is it's Miss Minutes. So you're not far off with your the second idea, because Miss Minutes is more like a sentient AI,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a character called the One That Remains because whenever the multiverse collapses, and the TVA always has one that remains,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then they continue the actions of the TVA in the next universe. in the next
Hmm.
timeline.
Hmm.
And then, of course, tried and true, King the Conqueror. Yeah, that's your the good old theory still going on there.
Right. I mean, yeah, because and again, they're showing all the signs. They're. It's like they're making you focus on that,
Hmm.
and they've done that before. They did that with WandaVision, making you think that Homeboy is Pietro, and then it's like they switch it around. I don't know. Collaborative, yes. There, people have used that smoke character in the sense of how it was represented in the Fantastic Four of Galactus, which was kind of stupid, but the rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh no,
You had that comparison.
no,
Am I reading it wrong?
no. He's saying it was Galactus, the Cloud, and
Oh,
this is a good reference. Uh, but Alioth is its own character in the comics,
right.
and it is a cloud-based character. It
Mm-hmm.
comes into the comics like a cloud, just like that, and that is completely connected to Kang the Conqueror because
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
a monster-like character that was conquered and dominated by Kang to be
Mm-hmm.
brought in.
Right.
But the parallel is
Dude.
extremely there. I would have loved that to have been in Fantastic Four instead of Goliath if they used Goliath there,
Right.
because Kang is also a villain for the Fantastic Four. That would have been
Right.
great too.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking that it may be too soon for Kang because Fantastic Four has not been they didn't even start shooting it yet. Anyway, real quick, I just took a check on this last episode. This episode is like the shortest one,
Okay.
which is annoying. But anyway,
Oh, and I'm sorry to hear you have to leave, but thank you for joining us, Rich. And yeah, you're right. This is like it's 46 minutes. It's still pretty long, but
yeah, but how much of it is it credit?
fair enough.
All
Okay,
right.
and welcome back with us, Zoe. It's like changing of the guard. Zoe has joined us. She
Oh,
says
she retract.
she watched the show. She didn't get the references, but still watched it. There's a
Okay.
lot of deep cuts in this.
Oh, is there? Okay. All right. I'm ready.
I'm ready too. All right, so on the count of five, as we usually do, and if you're on the playback, you know what to do. Five, four, three, two, one, go. Let me know if you have a little
Yep.
delay.
Nope.
All right, cool.
See, they're showing with his death right now on the previous.
Hmm.
Pay attention to that.
It's so silly. I still can't get over the narcissism.
I think it's awesome though. It makes total sense.
I know it makes total sense. It's just
It's weird at the same time.
it is
He's,
absolutely weird that he loves himself so much.
but it makes sense at the same time because who else knows him but him? Who truly knows him?
That's a great moment. For
Oh,
glorious purpose.
that's what I'm saying. And then the Valkyrie music played in that was top notch. It was like perfect when they played the Rise of the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
It was awesome. All right. I just feel bad that Kim hasn't watched this yet. I mean, I don't mind because I'm going to watch it again tonight. So what? What?
This
What?
it's all the audio.
What?
And
Oh my God. This is,
it sounds like it's coming over a radio, like someone's
yeah,
listening
no, it's
in.
the music. It's the music where he's dancing, the Captain America and Peggy dance.
I know, but it's also all their voices from all over the time.
Right. Oh, it's the timeline now also with everybody in history.
Was it Nelson Mandela?
That was not what? Nelson Mandela. Mandola.
I'm tired.
Oh, Vision.
Yeah.
Sylvie. Just all right. Now it's to that point. Oh, it was going through. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's the same rock.
No, it's not.
No, that rock was in the previous.
Ooh, one person thinks is a Mortis. I think it's a Mortis, like the final version of Kang. I remember that. You remember his name?
No, because Kang is like also in the Young Avengers.
Yeah, but there's three versions. There was the Pharaoh that the Fantastic Four fought, who in the comics also was like the creation of the creator of Apocalypse almost. I forget the Pharaoh's name. And then I think it
Oh,
is
okay. Yeah.
Immortus is the final version of Kang, like that
Well, we did
actually
see
works
we
with the TVA.
well we did see a sphinx in a pyramid in the last episode.
Yes, and that's a tie-in to Kang as well because of that.
Mhm.
This is a big door.
Okay, that little intro with the all the voices, awesome.
Yeah.
It means that they were being watched. It was being observed closely to like things in history, big moments.
Hmm. That's not true.
It was she was pruned.
She wasn't pruned before. I think that's just a writing mistake.
No, it could because she could have probably done it before.
No, because when you
Maybe
get pruned, you get sent to
you get
that.
the, you get sent there. That's right. I forgot. I don't know. Huh?
I think
Okay,
that's
okay.
an editing, like a script error. Oh, I'm so frustrated now. This TV.
Look at your phone.
I'm going to have to. Miss Minutes.
Whoa! Wow.
He is impressed. What up, Phil? He who remains.
Who's that?
It's
Oh, it's that guy. He's a Loki.
no. Well, he who remains is a member of the TVA. Whenever the timeline ends and they end the universe, they have to restart a new universe. It's like a the ebb and flow, and so they always pick one agent to remain, and he starts it up again. Kind of like how the three were supposed to after the timeline wars.
Listen, I'm trying to listen. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
I'll explain it
listen.
later.
Oh, snap. Oh, what she's trying to do is just she's trying to manipulate him.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing what he does, manipulating, similar to how in Avengers he was doing that.
Good to see you stopping by, Phil. Zoe's been waiting for you here the entire time.
Dude,
Hmm.
she was very okay. That's very uncomfortable. Hmm.
The manipulations.
Mm-hmm. You notice how they turned like they did this also in the last episode? They spun the camera like they're doing now.
Yeah.
Very it was reminiscent to the Black Widow, Black Panther. Did the same thing. We're showing that things are just being flipped around, topsy turvy, if you will.
I
That's
thought,
what happened in the Black
but
Panther. That's what they did
I thought
the
you were
last
gonna say
episode.
that in Thor, because in the original Thor they did that like when they were going from like Asgard to another realm, they'll flip.
Mm, maybe, but I just know that's how it was like. What we thought was one thing, it got flipped around. So it was like visually doing that, flipping things around, flipping the switch, if you will.
Hmm.
Okay, so one of these got destroyed by who?
Oh, it looks like
He who re-
we're getting joined
he,
by a guest live. He's coming in.
he's who remains. Watch your back.
Hopefully you got this episode
Hello?
running, Zoid.
It's Kang.
I'll catch up.
It's Kang.
Wait.
No, that's Kang. He's wearing purple. No, that's Kang. Interesting.
Who reminds? I can't get my timestamp on there. What time are we at?
10:08, 09, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, cool. For
Huh.
anybody who still needs it.
Because he was said this guy is supposed to be playing Kang. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we kind of are. We're just kind of hoping it was old Loki.
There, I'm with you guys now.
Okay.
Let's see.
He's kind of like a cross between a Loki and a Kang at this point.
Well, he could be. You know how the MCU MCU sometimes blend like multiple stories, characters
Yeah.
together to make it one. So this can be. He could be a
Yeah.
Loki himself. So it'd be three Lokis right there in the same space.
Mm-hmm. Or he could be Kang and He Who Remains, all in the same place.
Right, right. Or all three of them, Loki, who remains, and okay, and Loki.
She's like, I prefer to go by Sylvie.
Oh, those rings. What does that means? It's five of them. I'm watching where they sit.
I would too. Shit.
There he is.
Wow.
Wow. But you notice some of the words he said was similar to the wow. You're like in the ground.
I've been wanting him to say it so bad the entire season.
He does in a way. He does. pay tribute to that, but different. It says it different a little bit. Oh, it's the pen. It's a microphone.
Smooth too.
Wait, maybe
What?
all the trophies, everybody that she's collected, are all like
That's
they're
a pen.
given,
The pen's a trophy. Okay.
and then they give them each a reminder of where they've been.
Oh, she's a principal.
That works too.
Dang.
Yeah, you found them, but it's kind of like he has that little thing that they used.
Yeah, that bounces him back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he has control in a sense of where to be.
Mhm.
It's in your contract.
He knows the future. He's at the end of time.
Mm-hmm. That's reference to the voices in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. You're my favorite show.
Hmm. Was his thing. Dude, I'm loving his acting.
Yeah. Don, why does he remind me of like an intellectual Jay?
An intellectual chick.
Jay.
Jay,
Oh, Jay.
intellectual.
The way he does his mannerisms and the way he talks is Jay. Just if he was a mastermind.
I'm not sure if that's an insult or a compliment. Kind of weird.
It's a fine line of both. It's a good mix.
It's a very fine line. And if Jay wasn't sleepy, baby Jay.
Well, that's what Loki does. I mean, he manipulates.
Now he's questioning it.
Mm-hmm. Damn it! Why is this episode so short?
Sometimes it doesn't need to go the long haul.
And you know it's gonna end juicy if it's shorter than the rest, though.
It should. It should.
Like a cliffhanger. It's like, oh,
Well, they did the same thing in Jean-Claude Van Johnson in the first episode. It was like the shortest of all the episodes, but you saw it and you're like, oh my god.
hmm.
She pruned him out of friendship. Zoe, what are you about to do?
That's what I was concerned. What she just said, I was like,
She can just go through that door, dude.
If she keeps the time pad with her, yeah.
She opened the door, so by the time he gets to her, she can escape. Oh my god, you suck. Seriously?
he's not a fighter. He's a jet skier. Okay.
Yeah. He's about to do something though. Oh.
Oh, she was about to drop spoilers.
Oh, Zoe, no. Well, I'm not looking at the screen, so it's all good.
Zoe's excited though because her favorite's on the screen though.
Hi, Zoe.
How messed up would it be if she became the new Kang?
I mean,
Makes
in the
sense.
comics, didn't she essentially become king at one point? 'Cause she was pissed off at
She
King.
was she was the one that let loose Eliath in the comics, and she was the love interest of Kang. So she
Right, but there was a part where like he like pissed her off and she went on a rampage and essentially became king at one point.
I don't remember her becoming Kang,
Or like
but
took his place, not
the
like
whole
became him,
Eliath
but
thing was because of her. He was being very persistent about getting her hand in marriage, and she's like, "Screw you," and let loose a multiversal threat across time.
Hmm.
Oh,
you guys notice the Mickey Mouse symbol in the back with the windows?
Mm-hmm.
Disney got to get their play.
Mm-hmm. But there's also two circles at the bottom too. So
mm-hmm.
what the hell is it? Huh?
It's Walt Disney. That's his
Oh
name.
wow, look at this. Yep, it's Kang. Dude, he is so comfortable in his role. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
100%. It's very natural.
Wow. Wow.
Yo, it sounds like he's describing Immortus. Oh my god. What's up, Drew Skizzy?
I love this guy.
I know you would.
Hmm. Elia, there you go. That's what it was. Elia.
Like with a nuclear weapon.
Oh snap!
Mm.
His
Oh
parents are
snap!
still alive.
Mm-hmm. Very political right there. Oh, the end game.
You know, they say like you can tell like how good a performance is by how much the person enjoys the performance or something like
He's
that.
loving his role right now.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He gets to ham it up in such a good way.
I'm all for it. Hmm.
What?
Because he's tired.
Mm-hmm.
He's like all those animes where you have the big bad that's been training someone and just
Exactly.
puts them through like hell and then wants them to really take their place.
It's that whole "we're not so different, you and I" type speech.
Mm. It's kind of like Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
Wants to
one
do a
that,
similar gambit just to take his place at the end.
you know, you're worthy. You're worthy.
Hmm.
It's true. She is. She. He's right.
We're all villains here.
They all killed in mass murder. They all committed genocide of some type.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, arguably, Sylvie's killed more than Loki, and this guy obviously has.
What's going on?
Yeah, there's that vibrating, that hum,
He's nervous.
a charge up. The what?
Nexus event, maybe? The camera too.
So it's like everybody looks like she did when
Yeah,
she watched the episode Confusion.
for sure.
This moment.
Oh shit.
There's multiple timelines.
Oh,
Yeah, they're splitting.
oh snap. Multiverse of madness.
Mm-hmm. Phil, I see where you're going, and I appreciate that.
Hmm.
I wonder if they're gonna do both.
They gave him the wild line and not Owen Wilson.
I wonder if our Loki takes the mantle and she kills him
this
anyway.
is notice the camera angle is going. It did this already. This little
The
zoom
in and
zoom-
out kind of.
Yeah, it's like
And there's always like a semi-hue difference when it zooms back out. Oh,
maybe this is what he wanted the two to fight it out. Notice all the lines in the structure. His watch is all time like timeline variants. Or there are cracks in the timeline that could represent that.
They need Owen Wilson to patch up their relationship.
Oh, damn.
I find it interesting that their powers work here.
Well, they're not in the TVA.
Yeah, remember it worked. Old Loki's worked last episode, and they were whenever he was in front of Goliath,
Yeah,
and
but
they
this-
enchanted Goliath to get through, and Goliath was just surrounding where it was. They're not directly in whatever time
Yeah.
variation place like the TVA was. Oof.
See,
That was an
thought it
Eldritch
outside
Blast.
of time,
Oh.
too.
Oh,
Is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it?
No.
but she. Oh, snap.
She got good control of that blade, though.
Yeah. Damn, this is a good series. Jesus Christ, it's a good series. I want you. Oh my, that's weird.
Listen, it's just narcissism as its finest. Okay, that's all
I know.
it is.
It's just.
Perfect narcissism.
And Kang is like looking at him like we're looking at them. Oh, snap.
Oh,
Oh,
oh no. Oh no.
They're breaking Loki's heart here.
you got 10 minutes left.
Ooh.
The theatrics. Oh, she going slow?
No, she went in deep.
Damn this TV.
They didn't really show that much. They just show the.
Yeah, they show from like his chest piece down, but they really show like the it's very top of the blade a little bit.
No, the TV just dims in and out. Like this TV is on his dying legs.
Oh.
Look at your phone.
No, it's
That's-
screen sharing, so it won't let me look at my phone.
Oh. Again with the camera pan.
And again with the hue variations, like all in the back.
Hmm. You can see the timeline in the background. Oh yeah, they definitely split. And
Was
this,
there's
this is going to be multiverse event. Look at them split. That is a
well that's
huge...
that's the end of time right there. So now it's like
well.
But remember,
chaotic.
it's like a circle. There's no corners to get stuck in.
Exactly.
Now it's just going everywhere.
So what they established in the previous episode that the end of time is really just a given point where
They don't know what happens next.
exactly
That's what it means.
and it's time.
Look
is
at that.
still
Look at it. There you go.
continuing.
There you go.
Say it. Say it. I just need what word.
For all time, always. And she'll say always. There you go. That's the title.
Wow.
Just
How
need
come like
one.
no one else is freaking out? Like no one's freaking out.
I think they've been working on telling everyone.
Oh.
That's why everybody is just like staying there.
Because remember, she's been gone for a minute, remember? So I'm pretty sure she's already been corralling the troops.
Now, where's Homegirl that left?
I'm telling you, I think she's going to be the Kang. Or she might become the girlfriend of Kang in the future movie. She's like, and she ends up dating the guy that just died.
But as you notice, like this will also lead into the Doctor Strange film because he's supposed to be in it.
Well, it's also going to be leading into the What If series now.
Yeah.
Remember, before that.
Which I'm excited to see.
Because we got What If, we have No Way Home, and then we have Multiverse, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, there's
what if it's more of will it be tied to the variants?
Well, it's tied to the new timelines. Like we get Captain Carter, we get
Marvel zombies.
Who else comes through? Marvel, yeah. So it's like the initial explanation of or digging into the timelines or variations.
Well, like
Look, he's like, we messed up. Oh my God.
It's already happened.
He's not in his TVA.
Oh, it's just one.
It's Kang's TVA.
Damn.
That's Kang.
We're gonna see him come back.
Of course we are. I mean, first off, that actor is perfect for the role. Have either of you seen Lovecraft Country?
Yes, I have seen. And I like his performance here better than Lovecraft Country.
Yes, but
where was he in? What was he in?
Lovecraft Country.
It
was an HBO. Yeah. It's a series based on like Lovecraftian stories and like how it affects his family. And he's insane in that. He's already a great actor. And seeing him kind of, it feels almost like everything that he was saving in Lovecraft Country, all the psychic episodes, he just brought in here. Now it's cool. Now I can be free. I'm not tied into specifically horror.
That show is more serious where he took this
dude,
had fun with it.
What another fucking cliffhanger though.
All right, I'm laying the credits play.
Oh yeah, me too. But this reminds me of something else. Where do we see this? Like Back to the Future or something like that? Where was that?
Yeah.
We saw
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 2. Yeah, where he goes and now Biff Core is like the main thing.
But we see, oh no, this also reminds me of like a Battle of the Apes. Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, yeah.
At the end,
and then he's like, oh shit. I'm on
Abe Lincoln. Is Ape Lincoln?
Yeah. He's like, damn you. You blew it all down. Damn you all.
No, not that one. Well,
I just felt like that line.
Well, he does say in that film, but because he does reprise. Well, he does come back in that film.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But wow.
I gave the wow line to him. I'm so upset.
Wasn't really a wow line, but it was a wow moment.
No, he said wow. Kane was like, wow. And then he kept on his rant. I'm like,
I thought you meant when Loki was looking at the statue. That was like,
so
it was like, wow.
I know that you're saying he's the one who remains. He's all this. That was essentially Immortus. Because Immortus is supposed to be your final version of Kang. He's the one that works with the TVA. He's the one that is the.
Well, you know, like they blend a lot of things because he had the cover of Kang, but then he saw it was Kang there with the chest piece.
Well, it's the
all
same.
That stuff.
It's the same.
Oh, we got
person.
Something. Hold
on. We do. Oh, shh.
Loki Labistan.
Season 2.
Oh yes, yes.
We're getting to season 2. Hell yeah!
Oh yes. We are getting it.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I am
Damn.
excited.
Oh my god.
I wonder when is that gonna come out? Is it gonna be before or after Multitude of Madness?
No, it'll definitely be after Multiverse of Madness, but oh my god.
Yeah, it'll have to. Or well, depends on.
If they got any
It,
more
it depends
delays.
on where the next series of stuff goes.
Well, no,
it,
did they
really.
finish? Did they finish?
They started filming, didn't they?
They finished production?
No, I think they started filming Multiverse of Madness already. Like started, not finish. Because remember, you got stop that mute.
Okay. Wow. Dude.
We are stuck on that word.
Well, that is episode
2022, just before any Iron Man 3 or any Man 3.
Okay.
So, Ant-Man 3. Oh, because
Ant-Man,
that's also tied into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah,
Ant-Man.
Kang is supposed to be a villain in Ant-Man 3.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Adon. Is it Kang like Kid Iron Man from like the future or something like that? Like the Young Avengers?
Is it Iron Man or is it
Iron
Patriot?
Kid?
Iron Lad.
Iron Lad.
Yeah. And haven't they been slowly building up a Young Avengers?
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So basically, there is multiple versions of Kang the Conqueror. There's let's see, variations, known aliases. Rama Tut was the Pharaoh version. That is the youngest version of Kang the Conqueror. He's the version that you first meet with Fantastic Four in the earlier days, and who was also the one that helped create Apocalypse in his storyline. And then you had Immortus, who is like supposed to be the final version of all the variants of Kang. This is the version that is the one that leads and lives the longest life. Key ends up being a villain. Teams up with the TVA at one point so he can get what he wants. He gets to rule a certain timeline, and he lives in a particular patch of the timeline that is like limbo, that is untouched, like Eliath was. And then, so he ends up being the enemy of Kang because Kang is like, I don't want to be you. And then there's Iron Lad, who he's the youngest in age, that is, version of all of them. And he sees Kang, he's like, I don't want to be you. So he rebels against himself constantly.
Well, at one point, I know Iron Lad kills older Kang, which creates like a paradoxal type event and then he eventually has to reset it by becoming Kang anyways.
Mm-hmm. So it's all there. That's all there. He's also done some other stuff like the Rex Corp thing. There was a tower in the background of episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last one.
It was the Avengers Tower.
Yeah,
shape of the Avengers Tower.
At one point, Kang actually owned the Avengers Tower, also in one of the timelines that he ruled. So
we also got Rex Corp early on in episode 2, right?
Yeah. So we got like Roxanne Corp or something like that.
Gotcha.
We had the supermarket thing.
Yeah, which
Costco.
is like Roxanne Oil.
But isn't that also in the X-Men series? Weren't they like the we saw that, was it X-Men? We saw there was like a vial and a, was it X? I think it was X-Men, or no, Spider-Man. Was it Spider-Man?
No, you're talking about the episode in
the movie. It's a movie.
Days of Future Past, where they release Wolverine, and it's Mr. Essex. It's Essex Corporation.
X-Con or
no, Essex. It's run by Mr. Sinister.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. All right. Mm-hmm. The Rex and the X, I get confused.
It sounds the same. It's cohesive.
Okay.
But bro,
great episode.
Good episode.
Short.
I came in 10 minutes and I'm still fucking full into it. I feel like I didn't miss anything.
What you missed was Miss Minutes.
Oh, did I? Did she come in as like a badass?
Yes, she did.
Pretty much.
I'll go watch
Pretty
some
much.
again. It's fine.
You're gonna see. You're like, oh.
You saw like her true self come out. Like,
exactly.
It was like,
and you're like, I wanted more of her after she came out like that. I was like, oh my god, she's a threat. She feels like a threat.
We got a glimpse of that on episode 5 whenever the judge was like, hey, do this, and she was like acting like a sassy little asshole, but in fact was like, hey, I got my team coming, don't fucking worry about it. Oh, you want this folder? I got you, boo. And it was just
this is different. The way it was more like
she flipped her script. She wasn't being sassy. It was like, you guys have been playing.
It was like a Bond villain.
Yeah,
it was like a Bond villain.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch this 10 minutes.
She made me feel like it was serious, which is kind of funny.
It made it feel like clock. It made it feel like she was the one pulling the strings.
Yeah,
at one point.
Yeah,
and then she refers to he who remains. Then it's like, oh, okay, she's like the second. She's like the right hand of the soldier.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, nothing what we expected, I guess, huh? Except that we thought Kang, but again, he's like a mixture of, obviously, he said there's variants, so he's just one variant of he who remains.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into that at the end, we see that Kang is indeed alive and well in that way. And
I mean, I didn't say it initially. Like, I gave all the various versions, and I kind of liked the idea of it being Immortus. And they didn't say concrete that it was Immortus, but I'm going with that was freaking Immortus, and I'm happy.
Just based on his monologue and what he was actually saying, taking the context of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean,
and that's awesome to me.
But again, it's like they do this a lot of times. They'll blend a lot of characters into one to fuse it, to make it, to fit the story better, or fan service, whatever. They all comic book movies, not all, but a lot of them do that. So
question. So with the new timelines branching off, were the other ones that were purged before, are they also re-branched out again as well? Or are they just completely eradicated from when they were eradicated?
So that's the confusing part, because if they every time they eradicate, they reset the timeline. So a new change of events is like a ripple in time. Like when you drop a pebble, you have waves, and like if you drop another pebble, just because you're dropping in the same spot doesn't mean you're making the same waves.
No, I get that, but with a reset,
I'm sorry. I think it's just from that moment when he was just like, oh, from that moment on. I don't think it's the other stuff.
The previous ones coming back.
I don't think so. I think it's just, but it's all.
That's all I was curious about.
It's all coming now, all at once, in like an explosion. That is, unless I don't think so. Yeah, it'll be kind of weird because it'd be like, there'll be like a lot of Thors and a lot of the same, but
which could happen.
Could happen.
Like was it Secret Wars? See the Battle World there, where Doom took over everything. He had his Thor core. They were all keeping touch of everything. And hi, Bunda, what's up? Welcome. He's like, what's a Kang? Basically, a big bad of time.
It's like Tang, but purple.
That actually is a very good.
Yeah, really.
It's Purple Tang.
But let's go real quick in the sense of, so far the MCU shows, this series was like
top tier, 100% top tier,
and it's gotten better as each series has gone. Like WandaVision, excuse me, Falcon and Winter Soldier, that was really good in comparison to WandaVision. Loki has now taken the mountain on this sense of the writing, the acting, the pace,
the way I put it is WandaVision completely watchable, Falcon Winter Soldier is rewatchable, and Loki you'd want to keep watching, see what Easter eggs and other things you could figure out before the next lineup comes out.
Yeah, and I can see it. I'm gonna say this, like, WandaVision, I had a good time, but baby, you're at the bottom.
Exactly. It was watchable, it's not rewatchable material though.
Of the three, it's on the bottom for everybody I've talked to. But between these two shows, I would say Loki's on the top. But I do know people that will get a kick out of Falcon and Winter Soldier more than Loki. Yeah,
Of
no,
course.
but it's just because like
it hits different tones.
It definitely hits different tones, and this one I felt it's smart, it's fun. I love the dialogue, and I love the Easter eggs that they do. And even though WandaVision had Easter eggs, they executed it so much better here, and they actually did it with a payout. They didn't drop Easter eggs just to drop Easter eggs.
Now, real quick on the end credit, you think that was like reshot just because how well the pace was going and the fans loving this, and they went, let's just do this because because sometimes some series like, okay, it's not going well, we're not going to do it, dude, this is going crazy, we got to do another series, and they were like, let's
the only reason I don't think so is because if we look at from the opening and the closing of each episode since episode 1, what are they doing? They're flipping through Loki's file. At the very end, the last episode, they finally come a close to that file, stamped for season 2. So I think it was already pre-shot. I think that was the lead up to it. I don't think they were going to do one and done type deal, because there's so much that can go with it. And Loki's already a fan character or a fan favorite. So I think that was already pre-done from the jump, just from seeing the shot lineups from episode 1 to the final post-credit in the season episode we just saw.
I'm just saying, the reason why I say that is because WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're not geared for another season. It was a one and done. And so this is like, well, I'm just saying, because how well this has been received, I would just think, you know what, let's just do it. We'll figure it out. In a sense, if they can't answer questions in the multiverse of madness, well, figure it out. And what's crazy still is that like WandaVision was supposed to be the last of the series prior to COVID happening. That was supposed to lead right into the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
So you have this now. So it's just like, but since that was done earlier because it was in a closed stage or a secure stage, that they were able to get it done sooner. And I'm just, and here I guess this got done later because of so much of all the CGI work that had to do that it got pushed back.
There's a lot of SFX that had to go
because it was very close. Yeah, it was very close location as well. But wow.
By the way,
Damn, Andy, a good episode.
Andy, I see you in the chat. If you want to join in, by all means, you're always welcome. You can join in. Right now, we're just fan servicing the hell out of this show.
We're just going crazy on this one. Damn. And listen, I hated Loki in the sense of the MCU. I was like getting tired of seeing this guy getting reused.
He was not a fan of the character.
I was not a fan of the character. I was just like, wow, there's so many great characters out there. Blah blah. This episode made me love this fucker. I was like, wow, this guy is. I mean, well, Tom and stuff like that, and how they did this, because this show does deserve a multiple views, multiple watching, because of such the information that is just giving out and all those Easter eggs, and then you have the acting. I didn't see any bad acting moment at all.
When there was action, the choreography was on point. When they had more of the whimsical funny sets, everything was natural, wasn't over the top. You were like, okay, can we move on? It was enjoyable. It just hit all the right notes as it went along with each episode.
All right, so this is a great example of where I would say like somebody didn't like Loki the show. Andy from Popcorn Planet, he's like, the fact that I need to hear all the backstory to figure out only makes him dislike it more. The show is a constant tease for Marvel nerds.
What, Loki?
Yeah, he's talking about Loki. He's not a fan. He's not a fan of the show, which I can respect.
What? I can't respect not being a fan of Loki. The show, the character, sure. The show, no.
The show.
The show is so damn good.
But here's the thing, like, he's coming from a perspective that he doesn't follow he follows the MCU movies in the series. So if we take away all our given knowledge of Marvel fandom and execute that, can we really appreciate the show as much?
Yes, and I can speak on that behalf because hold on, out of you, me, and Jay, and possibly Angel here, I'm the one that reads the least amount of comics.
You read way more manga than you do.
Manga and anime have always been my thing, and with getting it more into like evolve with this up, I'm like, okay, let me do some research on comics now. But going to, I'm like, cool, superhero movies, let's do this. I watched the cartoons as a kid growing up, but I never took the time to read the comics. But now, even without this, like, this was enjoyable to me because from watching Loki, I was like, ooh, because of different Easter eggs and different things that people have been hinting at, I'm like, okay, let me do some research on who the fuck is Kane? What has he done? Where is he coming from? How does this interact with other stuff? And at that point, it's very enjoyable because I'm like, not only am I sitting here and experiencing it and enjoying it while getting this information, now I'm on my little own manhunt to get the information too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Phil, you said you wanted to share some stuff, but you were going to wait until the end. I'm interested.
Spill the tea.
Yes.
Real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Did he do it yet?
No, Phil.
No, he hasn't spelled nothing yet.
All right. Well, I just like what I hear also that the Loki that we come to see in this series is pretty much the same Loki that we see at the beginning of Endgame, where it's not just about him.
He evolved,
but he evolved here in a short amount of time, where it took years and years and years in the MCU world. So that was a long stretch, 10 years or so, what have you?
Thank you for pointing that out. 100%.
And he just goes, so he comes he matches in the same mindset but in a different period of time.
Correct.
He matches. Yeah, he matches the Loki that has already died, that we saw in the MCU die by the time the Loki episodes are done.
Right. It's not just about him anymore. It's something bigger, something better, bigger. And so that's what makes it exciting, because you see the villain become the hero in a way.
Oh, Jay's in the chat too.
Oh, he's been in the chat. He's been in it for a minute.
Yeah, see, Zoe also says that she doesn't follow comics or read them, but she enjoyed the show. And this is an opinion from a female with zero knowledge of comics and Marvel movies. We've already tested that theory because she had to watch all the Star Wars in order to understand where we were getting at from there.
Well, that's like my fiance.
Very proud of her for that.
My fiance, she finished Loki. She finally, not the latest one because she works, nights and stuff, so she's sleeping. But she's caught up basically in like a day. And then yesterday, when she got home from work, instead of going to sleep, she was like, "I'm gonna rewatch all the movies in order, but on the order that Marvel or Disney Plus has put out, where it's like the historical timeline version of watching it." So she started there, and I'm like,
"Ooh."
So what did she start with first? Captain America?
Yeah.
Yeah, that well, actually,
it's kind of bad not to. Yeah,
I think that's where Disney Plus started her. It was Captain America.
I think.
However, they have it set up there.
Okay.
No, but it makes sense because it's think of it in terms like Star Wars. You can watch it like in release order, like how they were released, or you can watch it in the chronological story.
Chronological.
Yeah, but in my opinion, like Star Wars, though, if you watch it on chronologically, you missed all those gotcha moments.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 1, you see the introduction of Nick Fury at the end.
At the end. Yeah, the post credits don't mean anything anymore.
Right, and then also you see that at the end of Captain America, that he comes out.
Yeah,
but so it'd be ideal. It was like just like how it was.
If you're watching it for the first time, those Easter egg moments at the end will have different hits of meaning, I think, because you won't know what's going on, and then when those moments come into the movie, then you're gonna be like, "That's from this movie."
I don't know.
I'm just thinking of it. That
no, I understand because, but Kevin Feige, had a plan, and Iron Man laid it out in that sense, like boom, that with the end credits, that it leads you to something else, because he says, the Avengers Initiative, which will lead to other things. So I mean, it was best. I would say is best with the MCU. That is to watch it release date. That makes more sense.
Yeah, because that's
because again, you have those gotcha moments, and then you're like, when you watch another movie that was released after, they'll refer to it somehow to the one you just saw. So again, those Easter eggs.
All right, and we're bringing in Andy from Popcorn Planet. He's making a surprise guest appearance.
What up?
To give him his credit, he did put in the chat a minute ago that the acting is solid, and I think that's the one thing we can all agree. The acting 100%. Was solid in the show.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, the acting was.
Even the child in the background.
Man, yeah, look, I like the show. I just wanted to clear up, and I had a question. I wanted to figure out because you guys are actually you make me more into it because the problem, as I said in the comments, like my only problem with the show, and I did in my review, which I did half asleep because I hate releasing it so late, and I'm trying to review it so I can get because if you review it later, no one sees your review because there's so many people just do it in the morning.
Yeah,
and so professional reviewers, like we got to try and like do our job, stay up and do it. And it didn't keep me up. Like I definitely, so I had to like rewind a bunch because I was like, all right, make sure I'm paying attention to what's going on. But my frustration with the episode is more just, and I see this happening more and more often with the Marvel shows. It's a constant tease. It's like a constant tease for fan service that I'm just noticing. And it's this is the first time it was starting to really bug me where I'm like, did any of this really matter? I mean, like, I know it did. Like, I know you guys enjoyed it, but it's like, the whole episode is pretty much a big, long monologue to just show us that the multiverse is now coming, is what I felt like really what the show was. And I knew all that was coming. So it was a little bit less exciting just for me personally, because it was like, I mean, I knew Kang was coming. I'm not a huge comics guy just because I did some research. It made sense. Like, if he wasn't the guy at the end, I think everyone would have been, or whatever. And now it wasn't even Kang. It was, who is it? Adon, who's this guy? This is
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains is the official title, but it really could be still because the Kang statue is the same guy who's He Who Is Remains. So it's still Kang, but there is a alternate version of Kang who is called Immortus, who's like the final and oldest version.
That's why, yeah, that's the guy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, all that backstory is sort of like you do need to know a little bit of that shit for it to actually fully make sense. Or you just you say I'm okay just waiting and seeing what they tell me in next season. But I don't know. As a story, it didn't have an ending. Like, and Marvel's doing this a lot where they sort of don't want to commit. And it's like, I get it. There's a lot of story. It's on the MCU's growing. The multiverse is growing. I'm excited for the multiverse, but I'm just getting nervous and frustrated because I just wish they would commit to a story. You know what I mean? Like, I miss the days of like, even WandaVision to an extent, like she had an ending, she got out. I didn't love how it happened, but I don't know. I wish they would be doing these more as like, actual graphic novel runs where it's like, okay, here's the story. Cool. Wasn't that fun? All right. Like it's all just like a tease to the next Marvel end credit scene. Like Black Widow did it too, where it's like, okay, now this is all just pretty much a promo for the Hawkeye series. This is all pretty much a promo for Multiverse of Madness. Like, I'm a Marvel guy. I still enjoy it, but I guess I was just a little frustrated by I wanted a little bit more substance than, and watching you guys, you got me a little bit more excited. I'm like, oh, okay, I missed that. I didn't understand this. Okay. That's what I mean by like, I just feel like, does that make sense? Like, I just feel like this is Marvel fan service, this show, but done well.
Definitely was. Definitely was.
Like, but it's not a standalone story, and it's a lot of teasing that I'm just like, if you don't know who Mortis is, you don't care about Kang. Like, I just think there are going to be some people like, what is this? What's going on? What did I just watch? That's my criticism.
Well, I will say this real quick. That's Marvel Comics in a nutshell. Because Marvel Comics will do small revamps, restories, and those like one-shot stories, those are like Elseworlds. So you'll see probably that more in like the What If. But like in their sagas that they do, they bring in characters that they'll reference. Like, look at this comic right here. Go back to here to watch that episode, or do this. So they'll do like soft reboots. They are notorious for doing storylines that they don't feel like they have a true ending. In that sense, the closest one to that was the Falcon and Winter Soldier. That one you could technically end and be good with, but yeah, they're all their interconnectedness. So I can give you that. Sorry, I just have to get that out, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I think that they're also doing is just keeping us steady, and entertaining until the films come out.
They're keeping us.
They're just putting down the groundwork, just to get for the really like almost like a going up a roller coaster, and that's all they're doing. So they're just getting ready. So yes, we know that the multiverse of madness is coming. We know that No Way Home, is it No Way Home? That's coming. With Spider-Man, and we all know that's gonna be all tied in together. So I think just what they're doing here is just keeping us grounded, getting us ready, because what's coming up next is What If, right? That's another next series coming up. Is What If.
But you just admitted what I think the problem is. They're treating these like appetizers instead of the meals, and I think that's just all. That's my reality of Jack. Of just like a lot of people can eat appetizers as the meal, but some people don't like the appetizer as the meal. You know what I mean? I think that's really the real issue of it for me.
Well, and I definitely get it. And I'll reiterate. So as far as like, again, I haven't really read too much in the comics, but seeing some of the stuff that I didn't see, like seeing random, like I talked with when me and Don went to the beach the other day, when we talked about it, I was like, hey, there was a helicopter with the word Thanos on it. He goes, yeah, that's a Thanos copter. I was like, the fuck is that? So I had to do research. I was like, oh, they put, it's heavy fan service for the people that are heavy comic readers. But then when you see things like that, it gets your own gears going, and it kind of makes you want to look into it yourself in other areas and formulate your own theories. And yeah, it's like an appetizer, but sometimes those appetizers you're like, oh shit, this is good. How would this work as a full-fledged meal with extra stuff on top of it, And that's how I experienced the show Loki. And I think that's why I enjoyed it more, because it made me think and theorize a lot more than some of the other shows. The other ones I'm like, cool, let's sit here and watch this. Cool, it's done.
Guys, real quick, would you have watched this if this was a film?
Yeah.
Instead of a series?
All of it, yeah.
I mean, the way this pace was,
I would have enjoyed it as a film.
Would have been a long ass movie, but it would have been a movie worth, I guess, definitely worth watching. Because I mean, the production value, again, the acting, the special effects, all that stuff was top notch. And I could definitely see doing that scene.
Well, it's interesting because you say that, but it's like the shows are giving these characters those moments to breathe, right? Which they don't always get in the movies. So I wonder if the shows could have a negative effect moving forward, because we'll be like, wait a second, that was 2 episodes. That wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like it could have a backwards effect where now fans are getting so suited to seeing a 6-hour movie, a 10-hour movie to really have these characters. Will those 2.5 hour adventures now be sufficient? Could be interesting.
Was Black Widow sufficient?
Honestly, I mean, it's like weird. What do you think? I was curious. What do you guys? Did you guys like it?
Liked it and not.
I've watched it twice. I've watched it twice, and I made it on both attempts to watch. I knocked out in the last 20 minutes. Both times. I woke up at the very end. I was like, are you kidding me? It's the same thing I did with Black Panther when we went to theaters. I made it through the whole movie, and then when it was a Killmonger fight scene, I was like,
well, the thing is, honestly, those fight scenes are way too long.
Agreed.
They stretch out way too long, and so what happens? Our attention span starts to shut down, and that's with the Black Widow. It was just too much. Unfortunately, that what they did wrong was with the Red Guardian. He didn't see him fight against Taskmaster. They cut him out.
Taskmaster, yeah.
It was just like it was like a pose and stuff like that. Maybe because he wasn't.
I did love Red Guardian though, and
he was awesome. He was awesome.
But Red Guardian's the perfect example too. Of like, do you get to just put him in another movie or something later, and then it's now we know who that is? It's like, it's crazy what they're building. It's and good for them. I'm gonna watch it all. But my God, like a new Marvel fan coming in trying to catch up a year from now, it's gonna be like, it's like, how do you follow all of this without having to watch hours and hours and hours and hours of stuff? It's gonna be interesting.
Well, I would say Marvel has taken the mantle of like the longest series genre to watch. Because before, like you tell people like you should watch Star Wars, and they're like, oh, man, I don't want to put in those hours. And then maybe Star Trek.
Or like Lord of the Rings. I don't want to spend 3 whole days watching Lord of the Rings.
Oh, how dare you!
Oh, well, let's watch Marvel. Let's spend 5 years catching up on Marvel.
How dare you say that?
Listen,
I'm saying that's what people say. I love
to do it in like a sleep pod. She had to segregate herself from the world to catch up on Star Wars.
I mean, try watching the Lord of the Rings extended version.
My dad has those. I've watched them all.
And earn them. I mean, I own them, and they're extended version. I kind of like it, but it's like 5 hours
it's long,
each film.
And I get it's tough to catch up with it or get back into it. But
did Andy leave us?
No, he's going back.
But when we get those like one random characters in a movie, I could see them coming back as and reprising that role later on, even if it's like a small little thing here and there, a few scenes. But I could see Red Guardian popping back up in another area again.
Absolutely.
Because we have the sister already getting recruited at the end of Black Widow. Sorry, spoilers.
great spoiler warning.
All that
mine goes backwards. I do everything reverse. You know this.
All that movie was really in the Black Widow was the transitioning of the guard. The Queen is dead. Long live the Queen. So we get one Black Widow into another Black Widow.
Well, I just thought like
we get
watching that movie is essentially not a backstory, but more of an origin story for the changing of the guard, like you said. And it's just her remembering, kind of like how Captain America remembers when he's boxing at the gym. He's remembering his story, and then we see him meeting Nick Fury.
One thing I will say, though, is this is actually going to piggyback what Andy Off has been saying. So if you didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're not going to know who that end credit chick is that's recruiting Natasha's sister at the end of Black Widow.
It's true.
So that in that case, that one is you watch Black Widow. Who the hell is this chick? What is she doing with this? And then if we see later on what's the heck's the?
Well, it was supposed to
knock off Captain America.
It was she was supposed to be Black Widow was supposed to come first and show Val. And then she shows up in Captain, but they switched, of course, because the movie and stuff like that.
The order, when you were going through the order of things, and that it would have been so much better in regular order. WandaVision coming last, I think, would have actually been better.
Yeah,
it would have made sense.
Black Widow coming out earlier would have helped. They're in a weird hodgepodge of how this release has happened. I mean, important brand fans will watch it all and be excited about it all. I mean, my God, they are a sensitive bunch, the Marvel fans.
But
like
granted, I'm sorry, but granted, I did love it at the end credits when Val showed up. When who's blowing the nose? Because I told Adhan when we did our review, which I'm still editing, when she whistled, and I was thinking that we'll hear the whistle again, and then she'll turn and the camera stops. But instead of that, we hear someone blowing her nose or blowing their nose. And then the camera pulls back as Val. I thought that was like, wow, what a twist. No, I love that because, again, we saw that. But again, we probably would have gotten confused with if Black Widow came out first and say, who is this chick? And then we see it more in relation into the Falcon Winter Soldier in that series. I don't know. It's just, I just loved how they did it here. I'm just wondering if that was a reshoot too because of that.
I heard the Captain America, the Winter Soldier was a reshoot. They added it there.
Oh, they added her into that?
Yeah.
Awesome. That does make sense. But
I think that was probably always the plan too, but that was supposed to come after Black Widow.
Yeah.
Did you guys
the intro? And then there was talk, but who knows?
Did you guys catch the Simpsons Avengers?
No, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like it.
Yeah. It was cute. I just thought it was cute because Tom.
It was better than the Star Wars one. My God, the Star Wars one was abysmal. That was awful.
So you saw the Simpsons Loki?
Yeah, it was just because his voice was. They used Tom again to reprise his role, and I thought that was just cute. Yeah, it was definitely better than Star Wars.
Apparently, there's also talk that they reshot Black Widow. Spoiler alert: that Taskmaster wasn't originally that was not always the plan. Apparently, there was another version of it where the spoiler alert. Where the friend was the guy. Apparently there's rumors and stuff implying that the friend was in fact
the whole time.
So I don't know, but apparently there were reshoots and things changes, but I can't confirm or deny what they were.
Which friend?
The one that was helping Natasha.
The
one who came out of nowhere who suddenly was
sleeping in the bed in the beginning.
The microchip guy. Microchip. I refer him to Microchip to Punisher because he was getting all the weapons and all the stuff for her.
Yeah.
So I referred to him as Microchip.
That would have been better.
It would have been better than what we got.
And I say this because I don't like the idea of she was going for a moment of redemption and she goes, magic dust, redeemed, and everything's better. Yeah. And then I told my brother this, so spoilers on what I said. If she did that and they go, I still hate you, and I've been working with him the entire time. That's my daddy.
No, that would be a great motivation right there. That
like still a bad guy.
It would have been good.
That
Yeah, it would have been good. Like it sounds like I'm out for revenge. You try to kill me and my dad, whatever, blah blah blah, and I'm going after you. It's like that. But also, again, how young was Natasha when she was defecting to Shield?
Well, she's old. Like Natasha's old.
Well, I'm saying, but in the flashbacks and stuff like that, she looked like a little. I think she was still in like her Catholic school uniform while she's blowing up the thing, and then you see the girl. I was like, how many years was that? It was like,
well, I want to say because Don, in fact, I don't know if this is canon or fact check me or not, but Natasha was trained in the Red Room by the Winter Soldier, wasn't she? She's a lot older than we think because she got a dose of super serum.
Yes, and that in the too.
Comics.
But no, she says that. She says, remember when they're fighting in Civil War? And while she has the scissor kick on him and he's about to slam her on the table, she goes, "Don't you recognize me?" She says that to the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, she does.
We didn't get nothing from that.
Yeah. And that plays into why she still looks so young because she got that. So I mean, that's me. I didn't read the comics. I was like, you know what? How does this play in? So I did some stupid research. Yeah. And I was like, okay, fact check me if that's a canon Black Widow that we have currently that we know of in the MCU.
I was telling this to a Lyft driver just yesterday. Like, there's now 3 things that are basically like the Village Bicycle. There's Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, and the Captain America serum. Because everybody has had it at one version of it at one point in time, and has had it.
Did the Taskmaster have it because of her strength?
Taskmaster had the freaking in the shield. Comics, she had the bow. She had everything.
In the comic book, Taskmaster gets a version of the Captain America shield, version of the Captain America serum too. That's how come they could do the memory thing. And so, Village Bicycles, there's 3 of them.
I'm just, yeah.
How did that Uber driver talk happen? That's amazing. The whole podcast in the Uber.
Hey, do you like Marvel? Me too. Let's talk about
it. We know why. It's like, oh, first time in Texas. What are you here for? I'm gonna, yeah. Oh yeah, how'd you guys meet? Oh, well, I'm into this podcast and I talk about comics. Oh yeah, that's probably how it happened. You probably picked her up on the airport.
No.
It's probably a shirt. You're probably wearing a shirt, weren't you?
I was wearing a mask. And
was it your Deadpool Jimmy John one?
Your Taskmaster getup, I'm sure. Yeah.
No, it was my Tokyo Ghoul one with the zipper.
The Kaneki mask. Yep.
Yeah, the Kaneki mask, and then we started talking about Iron Man's mask because he bought his son that $500 Iron Man mask that retracts and like does the other thing.
Jesus Christ, Uber must be nice, or Lyft or whatever.
Dude, get him on get his info.
I know, I did it. I was like, I need to get to where I need to go. I'm like,
we need him on a freaking chat just with that match just going.
I was on my way to a comic book shop that was like half price books all around, and it was actually a bookstore. It was like a library of books, and it was a half price for everything. And I was like, I'm gonna buy a lot of stuff.
That's cool.
But yeah, we just went down that train of conversation. It was hilarious. I should have been like, you mind if I vlog right now? But just to bring it back home.
What are you talking about?
We went so left.
This is what we do.
Yeah, but
this is what discussion. This is how discussions happen. This is what start one point, end another.
So, do we think, or we definitely don't think, in the sense of the shows, that backtrack to Black Widow and the next series, a live action series, Hawkeye? You think that Black Widow is going to make her appearance there? And then it also established the Young Avengers more, because that's also a transitioning of the guard from Clint to what's her name?
Her daughter's name is.
Can this multiverse thing? Because I did have that question. Like, does this open up the fact? Because at the end, where Loki is now not in his timeline, I guess is what I assumed, right? He's in some other version of it now, because Morbius didn't know who he was, and now everything's fucked up. Does that imply Hawkeye could be a different timeline? Multiverse of any of the movies,
everybody
could all be on different timelines, or suddenly, we just reset it, and now everything doesn't connect. am I correct in believing that could totally happen now, and that could be a twist they reveal later where it's like, you've been watching a movie, oh no, you're in a new timeline of that movie. Like, is that good or bad? Is where I'm still stuck. I mean, TBD.
I think we'd still have our main focus of the timeline we're used to, but we're going to have a lot more collisions of other things. So other variations of them coming in and touching base. But I don't think they're going to remove us from the current timeline that we've grown to know, because then that's going to put everything into pandemonium and lose a chunk of people. Like, now I'm confused. I'm not watching anything no more.
Well, granted, also where they were in the timeline happens, like the TVA, that is like always changing. It's the past, it's the future, it's the present. So that area, that shouldn't really matter what's happening to like our time frame. That's something else. That's going like behind the curtain, if you will.
Well, on the current mainstream timeline, yeah, but now with all the branches, each branch is going to have its own variation of a TVA.
Right. True. But what I'm saying is, like, in a sense, where this takes place, it was nothing was really set in one specific time frame except for when he left the Avengers film.
Okay, so
that's their first time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay. One, in the comics, they do have multiple universes and ongoing storylines that exist even as we're talking right now. They're ongoing storylines that are separated from the main continuity. But the given rule is you have your main core universe, 616 universe. That's what they're probably going to do with the MCU. Have your main core universe. Now, to explore that other avenue, that's where What If and the TVA comes in, because TVA exists outside of time, so it's just like its own universe that monitors all the other ones. And What If is basically you have a character, Uatu the Watcher, who actually he's like us. You're seeing all these other timelines and all these what if stories because he's actually viewing them himself. He's like opening a window and he actually witnesses it. So
he's changing the channel to see different shows of the same stuff, basically.
So that's how they can pull off like having the TVA and the other timelines existing. Now it'll make more sense if they do it like other shows or other stuff, and they could do one-off movies, and then they do like a little hint to let you know this is the alternate timeline and this is not coming through. There's probably going to be an incursion event down the line, because if you're going down the multiverse, you're probably going to have a secret war or incursion event like they talked about in this episode.
Well, I would say one thing that you could link it to as far as to get a better understanding is like what they did with Flash and Green Arrow, the TV shows where they had, the different multiverses of Flash going back and forth. You knew where they're at different cases because different things would change, but certain things, but we had our main Flash and his main universe always bouncing back. So they can do something like that if just to kind of give you a better scope of how it can be done.
Yeah,
I mean, they've always done that with DC and Marvel, where they multiverse and then they blend it into one or maybe two or three, like Earth 1, Earth 2.
And now very limited. Now I'm nervous. I do not want Marvel turning into CW multiverse, TW verse with multiple what's his name's
Barry Allens and
100 Wells showing up. Oh great, here's 10 Nick Fury showing up.
You don't like the Wells?
I think they already addressed that issue, because look at Loki. There's like, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of Lokis. We just went to a whole episode 5 where they met like a whole room full of Lokis.
There was 14 Lokis in one space?
Looked identical. They just said like, we're going to have multiple versions. Don't worry about them looking alike. One of them's a gator.
We took another one's hand. He was my favorite. He took a man's hand on sight. He was no hold back.
I died. I don't know if you saw that, Andy, but I died laughing openly.
Yeah, that was funny.
But
I liked last episode was great. I thought was a good chapter. Like, it really was interesting. They revealed a lot. Richard, what's his name? Richard
E. Grant.
Yeah, he was amazing. What a performance. I loved last week, and I didn't hate this week. I need to rewatch it, I guess. But this show definitely requires a rewatch, I think.
Oh yeah, no.
But I'm more likely to rewatch this one than I was with WandaVision, to be fair. So yeah, I did like it more.
For me, I think I still believe that Old Man Loki is still alive. Old Man Loki is still alive. He did it once.
He just made a version of himself, a little illusion, and dipped again.
I think I'm just saying, because he was done so well,
so,
and he made
he's so hard on that. He's like,
he talked. I'm saying he talked about his thing. What he did with Thanos, he made it so believable. Why not do it again?
Yeah.
At the last moment, but the helmet remains, whatever he can sell it that well. Because remember in an Endgame, we see Loki's body floating, and that ties that in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but guys, I have to dip out. I have a class to teach, so you guys please continue on. It was a pleasure, and I'll catch you next time.
Till the next episode.
Later.
Later. But I would say I agree with Andy. This is definitely a show that you can easily say I want to rewatch.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're just enjoy the story and you want to get those Easter eggs or find out. Like episode 5 alone probably had the most Easter eggs of all the episodes.
It was also one of the most comedic episodes as well.
And then it is also one of the most comedic. I agree there. Like, but my brother mentioned to me offline that even one of the Easter eggs was like from Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2.
Oh, the train. That's what you told me about that too. So you can see the train where
the octopus train scene where he's holding the train. There's a train that looks damaged just the same way.
Yeah, there was probably a ton of shit people still haven't even found in that world.
Yeah, which is fantastic because then that also ties in No Way Home?
No Way Home.
The worst title. Worst title. None of us can fucking remember it. It's like Dawn of the
I don't know what the thing is. They're like Far From Home. Now there's No Way Home. Like this
like
man can't catch an Uber?
Far From Home, No Way Home is all home. They're like, that's because Sony wants it to be known that Spider-Man's staying home. He's not leaving. He's staying.
It's like, what's next? E.T. is going to make an arrival? Like, what's going on?
But No Way Home is going to be fucking awesome. I stand by that. That's positive really about that one from everything I'm hearing.
I mean, the fact of it is this does a great job of making it possible for No Way Home to exist now. Because you got the timeline just explode, and then you have all the multiverse existing.
Well, not even Into the Spider-Verse made it possible already.
So can you give me the idiot's guide? What happened on the show and why? Like, so what's his name? What are we calling him? He who shall. What's his whatever? He who shall be named.
Just for simplicity, he who remains. And like I saw this earlier in the chat. They said that sounds like a Metallica song.
It does.
So for simplicity of it, we shall say he who remains is the one that was in charge of everything. He orchestrated everything, and it's only because he knew everything to a finite point, and but didn't know what was going to happen after there. So the main goal was to like either have someone take over his role or just die. Is that moment like he just doesn't know what's going to happen, so he's like, I can only put this option on the table.
Here, can you invite in my actual studio in so I can put this phone down? I got it to work finally.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then I'll hang up this one.
Oh, there you go. That way you can get comfortable without looking at the phone.
There he is.
So to sum up the episode, sum up the show in general. The general concept of the show is we get introduced to an organization that is in charge of keeping the timeline cohesive and in one line. Our focal point is Loki from the Avengers movie, who happened to jump off because of Endgame's shenanigans. And then from there, we learn that there are various timelines and one particular variant that's actually effing up the timeline. Come to believe that everything is, being manipulated. We get some twists and turns, and we find out that who we thought was a bad guy is really the good guy. And in a final act of being a true Loki, one more betrayal, they screw up. And not for better.
But for the Kang part,
yeah,
when like the time clock shows up, was he actually trying to get them to make the deal? or that was all he knew they wouldn't take the deal and that was a distraction? You know what I'm saying? What was the point of that?
So the point of that is he knew it wouldn't take the deal because he's constantly monitoring. But like at the same time, variants are variants for a reason. They're like nexus points where they can change things. So even though he knew that they would take it, there's always that still potential that they may change it up.
Remember, he made that deal after his current knowledge of everything had already ended. Mm-hmm. So they already, remember, he was counting 13, 12, whatever seconds passed. So at that point, when he offered the deal, he didn't know if they would take it.
He was talking about missed minutes. You missed that part.
Oh, missed minutes. Oh, gotcha.
John came in like 10 minutes late.
10 minutes late. I was walking a dog.
So missed minutes gave him the offer. Like this guy could give you a whole world where you just exist and you can be together and do what you want. Or you can, you could have won the Avengers War. But I think that's also Miss Minutes playing her part. She's actually more sentient than they give her credit. So like her job was just to convince them to go to him and hear him out. That's her job.
But then what was the paperwork she gave? What's her name? Like that's where this is all confusing to me because it's like there were multiple layers going on there.
The paperwork that she gave the judge, I'm going to call her the judge because it's just easier for me right now, is they never show you. She goes, this is not what I asked for. And she goes, yes, but he thinks that you will get more out of this. So that's a clue that she's been informed of what is needed. Now, this is where it gets tricky. The he could actually be Kang, not he who remains. And which makes sense.
This is why you're losing me, because I'm like, what?
Well,
this is fucking complicated.
It is very complicated, but that's the end result of time travel. Anytime we talk about time travel, it's always a complicated thing that people will get headaches with. It happens in Back to the Future, and that's arguably one of the simplistic ones. Most simplistic ones is Back to the Future. Any other time travel movie is going to be like, my head is broken.
Remember, Endgame also shits on Back to the Future too, so you got to keep that in mind.
Let them watch this again. But so Kang is okay. Andy, you've seen Flash, CW Flash, and you said it about Harrison Wells. I see constant Harrison Wells, right? That's Kang in a nutshell. Kang is a character that exists in and without and outside of time at the same time. So you will see versions of Kang, which is like how you saw it here, and then you'll see different versions. And there's always like one that is like trying to manipulate things to be in his favor. Usually it's the evil version. So he is your Harrison Wells reverse Flash, basically. That's your Kang.
You could also say, because Kang, he does live in all time. It's basically he is able to and has lived in every time period, but he has the ability to not cause nexus events. He can live in an area and not cause a change to it unless he's like, okay, I want this for myself. Mm-hmm. So he's like the perfect time traveler that just simply does what he wants. So he'll go somewhere, he'll become a pharaoh, leave, dip out, go somewhere else for a bit, and keep flip-flopping back and forth. So he's everywhere at all times. It's weird.
He does the research before going someplace, so he knows what he's doing, basically.
Exciting.
It's exciting in the sense of what he has influence over and what he can bring to the table. Because Kang created Apocalypse, which is a very popular X-Men villain.
Mm-hmm.
So he conquered Egypt, became a pharaoh, and then his storyline was the storyline that caused Apocalypse to exist. Apocalypse was a mutant, but it actually caused him to have the mentality that he has to go down the path that he wanted. Kang also was a major villain for the Fantastic Four, led into the Avengers as well as other characters. So it's just like his influence is, he doesn't have to be a major card player, as it were. It's like Galactus. Galactus is major, when he comes on the screen, you're like, oh, stuff is gonna bust out. But it's not like he's always going to be a guy that is going to be the forefront. He's just a tone, a note that influences. The biggest influence Galactus has really is like Silver Surfer, when you look at it that way. Galactus just shows up, I'm going to eat your planet, and walk out. Silver Surfer's like, my peoples, you can leave or be eaten, but I will fight for you too. He's ridiculous like that.
Yeah,
it's confusing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and it sounds like we're in a direction where things are going to only get more confusing. So we'll see how people enjoy it. The reality for Disney Plus is they don't need to show the numbers, so we won't even know if this shit's popular or not. You know,
well,
that's interesting.
Here's what I would say: like
these experiments, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna keep going.
I keep the notice of like how many reactions are coming out on this show. That's going to be like the better result for me, because when it first started out, it wasn't getting much reactions, but now at this point, it's getting more reviews and more reactions on YouTube and other social medias than it was at the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So that told me that the show was picking up as it was airing.
Yeah, I mean, they've said it, and I think it's clear where it's heading. Like, this is their Doctor Who. They want to make this sort of the crazy sci-fi, quirky show, and it'll be interesting to see if they just keeping Loki in this, running a TVA version for multiple seasons, and just this is what this is, and he's sort of behind the scenes doing that, or will they eventually create a moment where Loki has to go warn Ant-Man or whoever it is about Kang? You know what I mean? We shall see, right? It's all growing into this massive story that I hope doesn't get convoluted and collapse on itself.
Well, and that's the great thing. If they did get too convoluted, then they can do like a Secret Wars, or they could do the Incursion, which is basically, well, we got too crazy, let's collapse it and start anew. And is a reset. Marvel has done multiple resets with those storylines, where that's literally what they did. Like, the Incursion event was like, one character starts one thing, and now each universe is literally colliding with each other's universe. So
which is like Crisis Infinite Earths, right? That's what DC's version of that is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Essentially, yes. But it was different, because now each universe that was crashing, they actually had to make a choice. Either A, you destroy the Earth so that universe could pass through, or B, you let them collide and then everything gets destroyed. And then it all comes to an end where everything's going to just be the end. Until one character says, I will become the new god and make everything one world. And then it's just a battle royale, and you have everything existing in one sense.
See, I don't think they're going to allow it to get that convoluted. Like, yeah, they like going to some of the outstretched left field kind of realms and bringing them in and doing all the cool stuff that, you know, a lot of the comic readers have been waiting to see it on a screen for however many years. But I don't think they'll ever let it get to the point where they're like, okay, well, it's gotten confusing to the point where we're just going to reset everything, because at that point, no one's going to watch anymore at all. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, well, there's no point, because if you guys just get tired, what are you going to do? Reset it again in another year and bring back the characters in a different version? They'll find a way to make it semi-relatable and able to be understood by anyone that watches it, at least for the next few films and shows go. Do I think, anyways?
Yeah, I would say there's going to be a lot of fan theories. This just opens that. And yes, I don't deny this is all fan service, 100%, and it's a lot of teasers, but it allows us to enjoy that, and we can say now all the old Marvel franchises that we watched before technically now are part of the continuity. Unlike where you can say, like in Legends and Star Wars, all those various Star Wars storylines, when Disney bought Star Wars, they're like, scrap that junk. That's no longer us. It's not junk. It's fantastic. Here, we can now say the original Howard the Duck. And he knows what we're talking about. Yes, the original Howard the Duck. Fantastic movie. Blade. X-Men. All those.
Spawn.
That's not Marvel. You get that out of here.
It'll always be Marvel in my heart.
Fantastic Four, all those storylines, all those things could now be technically referenced and touched on. And as a Marvel fan, if you liked it, even though other people didn't, you could be like, well, it's still part of the universe. We exist there. It's just a fun thing. But overall, because I don't want to spend my entire day here, and I could, talking about this, I'm going to say this is a fantastic season for a fan to either get into. It is going to be a little bit confusing because of time travel and discussion of that.
It'll just be fun, though, mostly.
It can be fun. And we gave our orders. Andy, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, of the 3 MCU shows, you probably like Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier tops, Loki next, and then WandaVision.
You know me well, sir.
Yes. Okay, good. And you know what? And I said that earlier, that I can see being done for a lot of people. It hits a
Although I didn't like the ending of Falcon either. I mean, it was okay. They did give it like an end. He had an ending to it, like to that story. Like they did, but
I agree with that. The ending.
Falcon had some problems on its last, but I thought it was to me it was more a Winter Soldier story than a Falcon story, which I know is an probably unpopular opinion, given like, oh my god, how great Mackie was fine, and it was cool to get the American suit, but Sebastian Stan to me was the strong standout in that show, as was John Walker. Like those two storylines were far more interesting to me than Mackie's turn, to be honest.
Oh no, they had strong performances in that, and I loved how John Walker ended up being in that. So excellent, and I personally feel like they're gonna bring in Thunderbolts from it. But like we said, that's MCU doing seed work and teaser work to bring in other franchises and other products.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, peoples, if you're coming into this WandaVision, you could probably save that for last. The other two are definitely going to be top tier, and you're going to enjoy those.
But I'm guessing WandaVision is a lot more fun if you burn through it quickly.
Oh, 100%.
So I just think that was a release problem. But I'm sure if you, especially if you're like catching up, that the order of watching WandaVision should be after these shows. Like the watch order, I think is going to become like an actual thing for Marvel, because I think you should watch Black Widow after Civil War. Like there is definitely a better watch order to things in the Marvel universe as things unfold that I think people were gonna, and now with the shows and things that you're gonna have to do as we progress, because it's getting so vast.
I should ask this then. Obviously, I do agree in this part. Loki should have been before WandaVision. It would have made more sense, especially by the end credit scene that they did for Wanda. That would have made more sense, because then she hears her kids and then they can go into Doctor Strange. But in placement order for Falcon and Winter Soldier, of the three, should you just watch that before Black Widow or after Black Widow?
I don't think that one matters too much, honestly.
Because it doesn't really need to be in any of the. It feels out of order when you think about it. Falcon and Winter Soldier is not really necessary for any of these other shows.
And I think in regards to when you should watch it in relation to Black Widow, I don't think it matters, because Black Widow herself in the movie was isolated. So it's not like she really cares what's happening the other days. You could essentially watch it afterwards. To me, it doesn't really matter. But as far as Loki before WandaVision, I think Loki would still fit after WandaVision, because Granger said, yeah, she hears her kids at the end, but at that point, she's already tapped into her chaos magic. She already has them. She already generated her kids. She already has their essence within her magic as a whole. So that's not really a teaser into the full multiverse aspect of it. That was just more of her magic still resonating with the essence of her children that she created. I would still say Loki would follow afterwards, in my opinion.
Andy, you have any say on that one?
I mean, we need to see what the movies are, but because I do wonder if your WandaVision should be right before Multiverse of Madness. So I got to see how it all plays out from a movie standpoint. I don't think we're going to get much more stuff until Shang-Chi, I don't think we'll delve into this that much.
No, I think it's going to be a standalone.
Eternals will be interesting to see what that's really about. And it does that, because they're referencing the Avengers and things. It's kind of weird to me that the Eternals wouldn't be talking about the TVA and Kang, all of it. So we'll see how Eternals plays out. But Spider-Man absolutely is going to involve, Doctor Strange, Spider-Verse, multiverse, leading into them. Some of the Spider-Men even being in Doctor Strange 2. Like that's a two-parter. So that's where things will go crazy. And then I've heard, I like that Deadpool thing where he did the Korg promotion. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was really funny. Yeah. But like my source says, he's back. He's either back for Doctor Strange 2 or Thor 4. And I wonder if Thor 4 will involve some sort of alternate timeline shit. That's really just to explain some of what's going on in that movie.
Well, I think it is going to involve, because aren't we getting Natalie Portman back in Thor 4? So it's going to have already multiverse stuff with it.
That's the other thing. Does Gamora come back? Does Guardians 3 connect to an old timeline? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shit still up in the air that I think. So the watch order will depend on how all those movies, I think, use the timeline things to shift things. We'll see if they do. But Deadpool shot. Someone confirmed it, and I had high expectation. What's the word? Suspicions. When he shot that thing with Korg I was like, there's no way they got him in that suit and didn't film more. Mm-hmm. And he absolutely shot something else for Marvel cameo wise. So 100%. I think we'll see. I think it's either Doctor Strange. I doubt it's Spider-Man. I think it's Doctor Strange 2 or Thor: Love and Thunder when we'll see him come back. Sorry. But as for watch ordering goes, I still think Black Widow might be better after Civil War. I don't think it's a good finale for Natasha. I think if anything, though, it's a tease for Yelena, who you may want to see quicker. So that's the only reason maybe why you do push it to later, because it's really more the Yelena movie than it is the Black Widow movie, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
She was a star for everybody.
I get it. No. Yeah, and I do like Elena. She was one of my favorite characters.
She was hilarious.
Yeah, I know you love her. But okay, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I don't want to hold you guys up. I know Andy and John, it's already noon. That's half your day. And everybody, if you haven't watched Loki, check it out. Thank you for joining us for our watch session. If you have not checked out Popcorn Planet, please check out Popcorn Planet. Movie World.
Go watch my grumpy review. Lesson learned. I won't review a movie. I won't stay up and watch these shows and review them anymore. It just never works out. It makes me so much angrier than I really am. And then everyone just thinks I'm a grump because I hate the shows. I don't hate it.
I think that's where the true review comes out. All that.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to own it. It is what it is.
You do the late night reviews. You get a few Red Bulls in. You just let it go.
That's right. And you know what? I would say, like, I did a review of Army of the was it Army of the Dead?
Army of the Dead.
I was gonna say Army of Darkness,
which I enjoyed, and you didn't.
No, and I watched it at like 3 a.m. I powered through 3 hours at 3 a.m. I let that be heard. I was not happy.
See, my just to wrap up the thoughts on it, because I need to go too. I know you need to go, but it's like that I see so many reactions, and I like what you guys are like really getting into the nitty gritty details and like the Easter eggs and what the history of the characters and stuff, you and your brother especially. Yeah. And that's why I like your channel and your watch parties with it, because you really are fans, you know the material and you know what all it means. But I saw some, I'm not going to call anybody out. I don't want to, I'm not trying to do that, but it's like, I just see some reactions and the reactions like, oh my God, season 2, multiverse is real. Oh my God. And it's just like, okay, yeah. And that's like so much of the energy online where it's just like, that's it. That's all I needed was like, we got a season 2, the multiverse. Holy shit. And I'm just like, there's just a level of the excitement in the fandom where like, they don't fucking care about story. They don't understand. Like, this was just a big tease. Like, we knew all this shit. And I refuse to just get sucked into that. It's be so easy just to play along and fake it, which a lot of people online are doing, guys. I'm just like, oh my God, Marvel, another win. Yeah, Disney, I love you. And the reality check is like, I don't think it's perfect. I think they are overextending, because just like I post my reviews first in the morning to get the views, like they need Disney Plus subscribers. So of course they're stretching all this shit out to keep all these Marvel fans engaged and happy.
doesn't mean it's better for Marvel in the long run, is what that's my biggest worry of the Marvel fatigue eventually setting in, because we just stretch it all out so much that it's like, where do we go from here? How do we keep up with all this shit? But you made a good point. That's the comics. Well, but Adon, the comics imploded at a certain point from a fandom's perspective. Wouldn't you agree? Like, interest eventually waned.
No. The comic book industry actually was worried for a long time that they were going to just collapse and not be able to go and sustain. I think it was around the 80s that they had the major collapse, and they just weren't making money.
Right, Michael Jackson was going to buy it. I remember at a certain point, like they were all going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. Marvel, DC, they all had those issues, and then that's how come Marvel's all those Marvel movies were like bought up by like Sony, Fox, and like some other companies too, and those franchises are like just owned elsewhere. And when Disney bought Marvel, they couldn't get all those titles because they were on contract. It's because Marvel was like, I need money to keep afloat. So here's our rights. Here do this, and sponsor us, basically.
Yeah.
And it was a scary time for a comic book fan in the sense that you buy a comic and you're thinking you're gonna get something for value, and you're not. Let's be honest, because they're trying to oversaturate the things to make sales, and then two, you don't know if that comic's gonna sell anymore. And there was some good series that were out there that they will make good storylines, but they weren't selling, so they closed those storylines out, and they just refocused on other people, or they'll change the storyline out because they're trying to get more revenue, and they F up, and people are enraged. So
which is going to happen on Disney Plus at a certain point.
Oh, it will happen.
It's
whether it's Moon Knight or whoever, Hawkeye, whatever, one of them is going to eventually be like, what is this? And then all the plans will sort of sink because it's also now interconnected. That it's anyway. Look, Hiddleston was great. Owen Wilson was great. I even liked Sylvia. She was great. There's a lot of positive to talk about in Loki too. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully the audience did too.
Yeah. Well, my audience looks like they had pretty much good positive reviews. Some person, Sid79, also said maybe Loki was also Jesus. He taught
Jesus magic tricks, yeah.
How to walk the water, which that would have been hilarious too. I love the how they did like real moments in history in this show.
He was DB Cooper, so why couldn't
that? Mm-hmm. I'd be so amazed if Disney did that. No way they want to touch Jesus.
It's like John made a point, like you see He Who Remains, and like in the background, Disney. It's their logo. And like, it is Walt Disney. That's his.
It's all connected now.
He Who Remains. Does Disney have?
Wait, the Disney logo is behind him, really?
Well, really, the shape of the window, it's like the disconnected Mickey Mouse ears from the head.
It was standing on his desk. You see the other the other symbols.
Clever.
But didn't Walt Disney have a middle initial? Was it E? Like, did it start with E?
I don't know. Walt's something. Yeah, I think he has a middle name.
Walt. Yeah, Elias. Walter Elias Disney. Walter E. Disney.
Okay. Okay. I was like, for some reason, I'm like thinking there was like an R in his name, and I wanted to be like, it's an acronym for Walt Disney. No, that was too much. It would have been too much. But He Who Remains is definitely. I want to say now I'm going to change his name to Walt Disney. He is Walter Disney. I've been running the entire show.
I've been doing the whole thing.
Wow, that was good.
All right. On that note, people, check out Andy's channel, Popcorn Planet. He also has 2 other channels, Movie World.
Oh, it's good. Promote here and subscribe to NerdTots.
Yes.
If you haven't subscribed to us already, please do. I appreciate that. If you want to see more of my brother, we have a side project called Tales of Two Bros, where we discuss stuff, and we're going to have some other projects there. But this week, John's going to take the reins for tonight on the game stream. He's going to be the host. I will be back for the Friday episode of Bad Batch, and then Saturday and Sunday we'll have some cooking, some cops, and some physical activities or we'll get physical on Sunday. Those who've been watching, they'll know.
I don't know whatever. Okay.
On that note, thank you all, and as always, continue watching anime. I can't say my line now. I'm on vacation mode. Continue watching anime, expand your minds, and just be excellent.
Deuces, freaks, and geeks. My God, keep it simple.